diamond. Just keep that ass rewinding. Only you got me feeling like this. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Ooh. Oh, that's right in my face. Ooh, shit. Fix that. Stepping out of wide body and she big. You can misrepresent it if you fool. If your man fake, that go to you too. Yeah, I'm on the beach, white tee, and my Cuban link. We never table bottles coming like I hit a spring. Ass fat, night rock, let me see it whip. Smoke loud for the pound, now they hit a nick. Speed dope, boy, call cable float. You of him, one of them, still a criminal. I'm in the back, know you see me, you ain't got a front. Red and black, Rolex, this is one of one. Who's hanging there, damn, like the biggest one. Static drop is double, and we get it done. Fast money, boy, she wanna run it. Take one, on the table, toss a couple hundred. Sit upright. Oh, damn it. Oh, let's try this. Hi, I'm almost ready. You're early. Thank you. I'm starting the show at 8, so if you have something to do that takes like exactly 6 minutes, that'll be perfect. And then we'll start at 8 my time. Sorry, I have to set up my phone to charge and record at the same time, which is a difficult thing, but I got it. Got it. Yay! Hi! Thank you for being early. Come back, stay, come back. Whatever's gonna happen. Let's see how we do. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of chill hop while I get myself together, my notes, I guess. This needs to go like this a little bit. Is that good? Is that good? Let's do chill hop in the background because I can leave that on when the show starts. I can just turn it down. So we're gonna do that. Okay. All right. And continue to set up because it'll be time to start in just 4 minutes. We're starting in 4 minutes. That's time enough to get your coffee machine going if you don't have coffee already. And then in the first commercial, you could like grab your coffee. It's just good planning. Good planning time. Make it so you get your coffee together. Okay, we've got show happening on 2 platforms. We just need 1 more. And it'll be all set. Oh gosh, I hope I'm gonna be able to see the comments. Okay. YouTube. Let's bring YouTube online. Yes, queen. Say good morning so I can say hi. I'd love to say hi. It's called Soul Sanctuary. Hey, Jackie. Soul Sanctuary. Which would be hi, Tara. So I should put hi. How are you this morning? How's our new teenager? How's she doing? I'm just making my my YouTube get started. AKA Soul Sanctuary. Okay. It's gonna take a terrible picture of me. Where's my camera? Oh God. Say retake. Okay. Where's that one I really liked? I wanna put that up for I hope Brandy comes. She usually likes to watch the show. Aw, that's sweet. I hope she had a great day.
I remember 13. 13 is the year I moved. Right now the sound's not working. It's because of the damn chill hop. They're probably trying to block it because of copyright. I'll turn it off. Let me know when it's back. Hold on. Woo! Big ass light. Okay, so I'm just waiting for... Is that better? I think it's because I had chill hop on, and whenever there's... It might be because when there's copyrighted music... Oh, are you sure? Are you sure it was your phone? If you're positive, I'll put chill hop back on. Not if you're not positive. This Facebook is saying it's going live. It's been saying it for a very long time. It's having a hard time coming online. Oh, I was asking how she's doing, right? And then I said something about... Hold on. I said something about, I remember when I was 13, that's the year that I moved to Delaware. Okay. It's the year that I moved to Delaware, and, okay, I'm sharing to Twitter. You know, I need a whole media assistant to do all this part. I'm the talent. I'm not supposed to be concerned with what the hell people are clicking on and stuff. I'm supposed to just have the microphone and not even see the screens and stuff like that. I need to find a 16-year-old who understands all this stuff very, very easily and isn't confused. I get the old people stare when I'm doing Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. I get the old people stare. I'm too old to be doing this stuff. Oh, do you know what the problem is? My camera's not connected. Now I see, said the blind man. I hope that's not even true, because my camera is connected. It's just not the hell working. All right. Perfect. Let's see if we can't fix that. In the meantime, it is 8 o'clock. We're starting. We're ready. So I'll just have to go and upload to YouTube at some other time. I bet he could. He would be a great assistant. He would be, he would be telling everybody what to do. he likes some power, my little one. My big one and my little one. They both kind of do. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to get started with Soul Sanctuary. When I go and upload this onto Anchor and YouTube, I'll make sure I put my disclaimer on in the front of it. But while I've got your attention and it's morning, it's Saturday morning, Soul Sanctuary time, we're going to look at the 48 Laws of Power. And in those, I'm not sure which ones we talked about on the last show, but I think we looked at the first 4. And so at this point, we're going to look at like the next 12 or something. Instead of like looking and talking about every single one of them, I think it's really just the ones that, hey, Sandy. Hey, good morning. I think it's just the ones that we find some kind of conversation about. So let's look at the next 4 laws of laws of power. It might be the same as the laws of attraction. Who knows? But laws of power. And so the next 4, I believe we were on 5. And so 5 is, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Thank you, Jackie. Okay, so law number 5 is, so much depends on your reputation. Guard it with your life. That I 100% agree with. I 100% agree with it. Because, I mean, I used to spend more time trying to change people's opinions than I do now, just because I found that whenever you get into a conversation when you're justifying yourself, you've already lost. It's already done. Like, I've maybe had 2 conversations in my lifetime where the conversation changed my opinion about the person. Like 2. Like 2. Most of the time I walk away feeling exactly how I felt coming there because, those feelings are based on data. That's what our subconscious mind does. It calculates. at all times. And so if you've come to some conclusion, it takes a lot to convince you otherwise, unless you're doing some active work to open yourself up. So the idea that guard your reputation with your life, I think is good. I think that you should do everything that you can to be an honorable person, whatever that means to you, and live up to your integrity. And I think that you should make like 2 efforts to help somebody feel differently about you, and then leave it alone. It's not going to help. It's not going to change. It's going to wear you out, give you wrinkles, and then they're still going to feel exactly the way they felt before. And there's just no reason for that. That actually speaks a lot to the Princess of Swords card. It's about being overly defensive. And I think that's a practice that we could probably all take a page away from right now, since everybody's in quarantine and lots of people are cantankerous and a little bit more argumentative than usual. I don't know that it's the best time to be defending our reputations. Not with people in our house. They see what we're doing, right? They see it. So the next one is court attention. Court attention at all costs. Court attention at all costs says surround your name with the sensational and the scandalous. Who does that sound like? Not even touching that one. There's a whole lot of explanation under this one. There's a whole lot of data to give you whatever they thought that they meant when they came up with that one. The one after that is get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. I don't like that one at all. I don't know that would be right. You're right, Jackie. I don't know about taking credit. I do the opposite of that, actually. I don't take credit. I give it to whoever inspired me, because I think there's not enough honoring where inspiration came from that happens in the world. And so I want to make sure that if somebody inspired me to do something, to make some kind of change, that they understand that this is in my life because of you. And so make other people... Oh, it says get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. I don't like that one at all. That feels nasty. I don't think I'm going to do that one. I'm not implementing that. Number 8, so make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Now, make other people come to you is a great tactic for power plays. I remember I used to do that when I worked in corporate America. Like, for me, whoever won is whoever's office we had their meeting in. Like they started on better footing. And so I would try to design it, however that needed to happen, so that the meeting took place in my office. Because now we're on my home turf, and then that just gives me an advantage. And I think that I agree with it. Whether or not it's moral, I don't know that it's moral. I don't know that it matters. But I have noticed a home field advantage. If you can make the conversation happen in your place, your home, on your turf, T-U-R-F is the word I'm using. And it's really an old word. When's the last time you heard turf? I might be telling my age. Let's move along. Number 9, win through your actions, never through argument. Oh, that's no fun. Now you see, that's a very Virgo approach. Win through your actions and never through argument. It's sound. It is very sound. I would much rather action be the reason why someone changed their opinion than argument. First of all, I am over rhetoric. I don't want to hear anybody's rhetoric about anything, about what they're fixing to do, what they're gonna do. I've heard so much shit about what people are fixing to do and gonna do and what's coming down the track. This morning reminded me of, when I was thinking about this show, I was thinking about this book that I read. It was a self-help book, and I swear one day I'm going to remember the name of it. And the first half of the book, the whole first half of the book was talking about how this book is going to teach you how to do this and that and A, B, and C, and this book is going to do this, and this book is going to do this. And there's all these promises that this book was going to do. And then the very next chapter, it said, now that you've learned how to do A, B, C, and D, it never said how. It said it was going to, and then it said it did. But the middle part where life happened was missing. The reason that's funny is because it made me think of a very famous character who we know about the beginning of their life and the end of their life. But the middle part, where life happens, is strangely missing. And we're all just cool with it. I'm sorry. Now, number 10, infection. Avoid the unhappy or the unlucky. Oh, yes. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I'm going to read it again, real slow. It says, infection. Avoid the unhappy or the unlucky. Avoid the unhappy or the unlucky. Avoid. Stay away from the unhappy and the lucky. And I've said that in a lot of different ways. One of them is that negativity is heavier than positivity. So at any time, if you're around somebody negative, they will win. There's not a question. It's about win. So your job is to get the hell away from them. If you can do it physically, do it physically. If you have to do it emotionally, do it emotionally. If you have to mentally take yourself to Jamaica and relax on a beach with lapping waves, do that. But get yourself away from negative people. And if you're mid-conversation and you realize someone's evil or sad, which can be seen as the same thing, what you have to do is agree with them until they stop talking. Like, you don't fight with them. You don't tell them, oh, no, this is how it should be, or come over here, because they will but your jackass to death. They will but you to death. They're committed to that negativity, and they're committed to hanging on to feeling bad right now. Hi, Steve! They will, but every single situation that you have. I remember having a conversation with a friend who said something was wrong. And I was giving ways to resolve the situation. And for every solution, there was a problem. And after about 4 or 5 of them, I said, you know what? I smiled really, really, really big. And I said, you'll figure it out. And then I stopped giving solutions, because what was happening is they were draining my life. And when I realized it, I stopped. And that's what you have to do. It happens to all of us. We get into these situations. People we love, we're going through stuff, and we want to help them. We want to fix it. We want to move things. But the thing is, that's their journey. You got to leave people where they are in their journey. If they don't get the information in a frequency they can understand, one of my friends just used the term like a frequency they can understand, they're not going to get the lesson. So it doesn't matter how much you yell at them about it or say it over and over again. You gotta leave people where they are. So, this is all about Law 10, which is infection. Avoid the unhappy or the unlucky, okay? So then the next one is 11. Let's say, learn to keep people dependent on you. I hate that. I hate every word of that. The opposite of that is my dad's advice, which is the way he says it is to build yourself out of the solution, is the wording he uses, but it means the exact opposite of this, so that instead of people being dependent on you, they are not dependent on you, and you can go on and do other stuff. So I guess that really depends on your desired outcome. So that one I'm going to give a variable to. 11 is variable. 12, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. That just sounds gross, right? Use selective honesty. Now, selective honesty sounds like one of our leaders, doesn't it? Selective honesty. That sounds like the most political terminology. It is political term. That's politics. Selective honesty. Wow. And generosity to disarm your victim. And we see politicians in that all the time, kissing babies. I wish a politician would come up to me trying to get my baby out of my hands. They'd have to be like related to me for me to even let that happen, right? Okay. And then, guys, you're welcome to feedback. Like, your feedback is precious. So if you have an opinion on these, please let me know. Hi, Rachel. Happy belated birthday. Oh, it's almost Jackie's birthday. Everybody say happy birthday, Jackie. Her birthday is Tuesday with Malcolm X. On the 19th. Okay. 13 is, we're on the laws of power, and I put out the link just a little while ago. 13 is, when asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never their mercy or gratitude. Now that one is that feels exactly the same as the one that said, and one of the first laws was talking about have your enemies do your bidding and not your friends. And I think there's truth in it. I hate that there's truth in that, but I see how it is, and I've seen it work. And so it's kind of like a gross part of humanity, I guess, that works. That one works. Ugh, I try not to use it. It definitely works. 14, pose as a friend, work as a spy. See, all that's too much work. As of my last birthday, I don't have time to put that kind of energy into stuff. I'm going to be exactly who I am. If you like to be around me, awesome. If you don't, fuck off. That's it. There's no in between. I've built a lot of in between people around me over the last, since I've become a mom. It's really been since I've become a mom. You know, mommy friends are hard to get and to keep. And in addition to finding someone that you like, hi Rachel. In addition to finding someone that you get along with, you have to appreciate the way that they parent. There's so many agreements that you have to have in order to keep mommy friends that are more difficult than you would think. Man, it's rough. It's always been rough. I've gotten some jewels, or I've really gotten some diamonds of friends, but the process of gaining mommyhood friends, all my mommy friends, y'all chime in. You know what I'm talking about. You know, you connect with somebody because you saw them like some posts that you liked, and then you go over their house and they have some Nazi room or something crazy. You don't know. I went over a friend's house. And they had like a gun cabinet. Just a gun. My kid was like 5, just running around this gun cabinet like wide open, and I wasn't sure about what was going on with. I thought that was something you should tell somebody before they come over your house. But see, down here, it's real common for people to just have, you know, gun rooms and guns on the back of their truck and just gun. People have handed me guns, trying to hand guns to my children. Like, it's real, it's real loose. But being, you know, though I lived in the city for 20 years, I'm not cool with that. Like, any of that. I don't want that around them. That's just one aspect of, like, some of the things you have to kind of line up with. Your philosophies have to line up in order to have and keep mommy friends. And that's really hard. So that whole pose as a friend, work as a spy, this is number 14 in the laws of power. I don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that. So mad at myself for saying that. 15, crush your enemy totally. Absolutely. I've read about warriors and warlords who killed everybody, like didn't leave any witnesses, and they were the most successful. Shaka Zulu said that shit too. I don't remember his wording, but he said the same thing. Kill him. Just kill everybody. So crush your enemy totally, I completely agree with. 16 is use absence to increase strength and honor. Well, look at that. Now, this is a perfect place for us to land, for us to finish today, is on 16, because it says use absence to increase strength and honor. And what do we all have right now? We have the lack of each other. We have absence in abundance, an abundance of absence. Today, we're going to be thankful for our abundance of absence. Think about all the places where you could use this absence to your benefit. Maybe you're a volunteer and you haven't been there for, you know, since March now. And Jackie, you can't not have an enemy's baby. That's what Cat Williams said. You're supposed to get 20 more by the summer. But I hear you. I feel you. I don't want them either, but I have them. I have them that are my own friends. I put up a post like 2 or 3 days ago, and one of my like high school, it's a guy I had a crush on when I was like 15. He was really rude and like mean on my post. For what? I don't know. But he's like the kind of dude that like would call you a bitch if you didn't give him your number. You know what I mean? You've met those guys before, right? Like they'll be like, hey, how you doing? You're like, no thanks, I'm busy, or no thank you anyway. And they're like, well, fuck you. That's the kind of guy he is. So it's my fault for having him as a Facebook friend, right? But anyway, yeah, enemies, haters, crows. We can have like whole shows about that, can't we? We were talking about, now I'm going to read you what they said on 16. For 16, they said, The more you're seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you are already established in a group, temporarily withdraw from it and see how you're talked about. That's an awesome idea. You must learn when to leave. Ooh, it says you must learn when to leave. Now, didn't we just this year lose Mr. Kenny Rogers? He had his most famous song was about you must learn when to leave. What's the song? Tell me the song. Tell me the song. Tell me you understand. I want to know that we're communicating, that we're on the same page. We're talking about Uncle Kenny. He wrote an entire song, based it on a game, and said, you need to figure out where your jackass is supposed to be. And the name of that song is... What's the chorus? I don't know if people know it by its name, but they know the chorus, right? It's been in like 78 rap songs. And yes, Molly. Yes, Molly. Yes, Queen. Exactly. And that's not the only one. There's several songs like that, but I think that might be the most famous. This is one that's most famous for me. The one that pops out in my head. Right? Yes. Molly's all over it. The rest of it says, at the start of an affair, you need to heighten your presence in the eyes of the other. If you're absent yourself, I'd have to be legible. I'd have to be, literate is the word. If you absent yourself too early, you may be forgotten. Okay, so there's a good time period for, am I still frozen? I hope you guys can see me. If not, you can go over to IG because I'm recording on IG too. There's another camera. So if it freezes or whatever, go over to IG and you can see it. High Tarot, it's the same. It's a High Tarot, H-A-I-T-A-R-O-T. I was saying, if you absent yourself too early, you may be forgotten. So it's important to understand that, although we're going to plan to not be there at a certain period of time, right? We have to time that. So that's that Chariot card. Whenever it's a 7 and the Chariot card comes up about strategic planning, this is the kind of thing it's talking about. When are you going to absent yourself? Hey, Jackie! When are you going to absent yourself? And then when are you going to come back? Make that plan. Sometimes in situations where we're helpless, the best thing we can do is plan an exit strategy, right? Make a 6-month plan. And sometimes, hey! Yes. And sometimes that 6-month plan, that hope of getting out of the shit is all that keeps us going. And most of the time we only need just a little bit. We just need to get to tomorrow. I've heard lots of recovery and what is it called? When you're drug rehabilitation theories that have to do with just getting through this day, just getting through this moment. Most of the time we overwhelm ourselves thinking that we have to get through our whole lives right now. And the thing is, our whole lives are already right now. We just have to get through this moment and then the next one and then the next one and then the next one until we find happy or peace or whatever it is that we do. Okay, the rest of this one, this is 16 and this is absence to increase strength and honor. The last part of it is, it says, once your lover's emotions are engaged and the feelings of love are crystallized, absence inflames and excites. Ah, isn't that the hope of every separation? I'm so sorry. Give no reason for your absence, and it excites it even more. Woo! That's real primal stuff, right? You just like spin out of here. This reminds me of that movie Two Can Play That Game, where Vivica A. Fox was talking about when to respond or when to not respond to the dude. It's a really good game. I wonder if that's on Netflix. That would be a nice one to review while we're home and dealing with our relationships head on, right? That's a good one. If you can figure out how to make it a game and so it's more tolerable for you so you can get through more of it, please do. Also share it with your sisters because there's some girls who have been stuck on the same going nowhere Mickey Fick for the past several years. Now, one thing I want to talk about before we go. We're done with the laws of power. So my astrology friends. For my astrology friends, hi, John. I like when guys join. I have John in here and Steve. I got a couple dudes. My dad might pop on soon. I'm surprised he's not here. But for my astrology people, everybody who's astrology or has witchy friends, would you ask them to explained to me something called Saturn Return. There's this theory that something that's important in your astrology, in addition to your sun sign and your moon sign and your rising and those things, is something called a Saturn Return. And Saturn Return is when Saturn is in the same part of your chart where it was when you were born. And when that happens, huge revolutions are supposed to happen in your life. I'll give you some examples. My kids are 7 years apart. So for one Saturn return, I had one kid, and another Saturn return, I had another kid. Like huge life changes like that, like having a kid. One of my friends said two people she knows are getting divorces after 14 years. That's 2 sevens, right? 14 is 2 sevens. So that's 2 Saturn returns. So there's something about like looking at your lifeline in terms of 7-year blocks that that can help you predict what's going to go on, what goes on. In addition to that, do you know that every 7 years you have a brand new body? Like you lose every single cell in your body, it's replaced by a new cell, and that process takes 7 years. So every 7 years you have a brand new body. You're actually a brand new person. And so for me, knowing that when my oldest turned 7 was like the saddest year of my life, because there was no more like cells he got from me in him. He was his own complete person. Now it's almost his second 7 years, you know? And so it's almost been twice I'm removed from him, which just broke my heart because of how much I love mommying and what I think mommying is and all that. So while my youngest is still 5, I've got 2 more years of my cells are running around inside him. Who that matters to? Me. It matters to me. So Saturn returns. I'd like to learn about that, but I don't want to have to read it. So if you have an astrology person who can explain it to me, I know Mary Greer has done some work on it. I probably should just email Mary Greer. She's sitting around the house like we are. Right? But yes, that's Saturn return. Let's talk about the day that it is, and then I'll let you guys get back to your coffee and your grimacing at the people who are staying in the house with you right now. Try to see if you can conjure up a smile for everybody today. Just one. Yes, Rachel. 7 year each comes from the same thing. So 7 years into a marriage, people start cheating. I think that's the same thing. Also, for some reason, when people get married, they stop having sex. I don't know what that is, but that's apparently what's supposed to happen. So, I'd itch too. The day is the Tower card. It's a Tower card today. Now, anybody who does a little bit of astrology, not astrology. Maybe I'm supposed to be talking about astrology. It keeps coming out of my mouth, huh? Tarot. Anybody who does a little bit of tarot knows that the Tower is, well, it's one of the scariest looking cards you're going to see. Because there's always fire and a building knocked over. And it always looks, there's a whole lot of chaos going on in the Tower card. And the Tower card is chaos. And that's the card whose energy we have today. But remember, you have to take the energy that we have for the day, which is the Tower card, and put it with the Emperor card. Because 2020 equals 4. And 4 is the Emperor card. So 4 is what 2020, the whole year is about discipline. The whole year is about leadership. The whole year is about all of the good qualities that you would associate with a father or a leader. That's what the Emperor card is. So your whole year is supposed to be about the positive sides of discipline, right? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you have to show me your Tower card, Jackie. I'm sorry, I was reading. Jackie's going to show me her new Tower card. The whole year is about the Emperor card. And so when we add that Emperor card with the Tower card, what we have is a sentence that says, or energy from the universe that says, control the inevitable destruction of blank. So it's like any disaster movie at all. Think of any disaster movie. You can use any of them, right? Let's think about one of them that has a meteor. We know that there's a meteor coming towards the Earth. What do? You have to prepare for it. You try to control the total destruction, control the destruction, control where it hits, how it hits, that impacts the least amount of people. Control it. Like, do as much as you can to make sure that that thing is the kind, and I don't want to say least impactful, because maybe you want it to. Maybe you want shit to blow up. But make sure it's the most effective amount of destruction. Use it the most effective way that you can. And that's what we have to do today. Figure out, where is the destruction coming from? This is like the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Look around you and see what's crumbling. If you fought with whoever in your house you fought with more than 3 times this week, that's where your work is. Whichever kid you yelled at more than 3 times this week, or spouse, or delivery man, wherever you had 3 different bones of contention is where your work is. We need to increase compassion for that person. We need to put love into that relationship. We need to light a candle, like a black one. And in that candle, we need to, have the energy of creativity and compassion and love and expansion. You have to include that person in your thoughts. You can't just walk around being irritated by everybody in your house all day long. That is not what this is for. You can do it, but that's not what this is for. So figure out how to make it work for you, because nobody can come fix it for you. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I wish I could fix it for me. I get hella frustrated, But I think it's about figuring out for ourselves what part's going to work while we still have a couple of weeks left staying in the house. And then we can have fun stuff like, jumping on here, getting free readings. I can, while I'm finishing up here, why don't you guys, if you have any questions, ask them. And I can do a little bit of tarot and or pendulum. And while y'all are doing that, we're all going to, right now, everybody who's watching me right now, we're all going to get a little bit of a smudging. So here's my beautiful smudge stick. See what the rose is in it? Isn't it pretty? One of the guys that does the Witch's Market with me makes these with the roses in there. I think it's him. He might have more people in his business, but I bought it from him. So here we go. We're gonna light this. Have you ever smudged before? If you haven't, you just want to get a little bit of smoke going. And the idea of smudging is that it cleanses bad energy. A lot of new agey people who don't actually know what they're talking about have said it does a whole lot of different things. It just cleanses bad energy. It's about putting your intention out there. And if you can blow this intention into every corner of your house, start with one room. You can blow your intention into every corner of that room. Then just the little crevices, just the crusty parts, start to release a little bit. Get good energy where it's supposed to be. And I think it's a good idea once you get started, to open the window so all that stuff that you're trying to get rid of has a place to go. I don't want it to settle on my fucking anything. I want it out, right? And one thing that you can do, you can have an eagle feather or any kind of bird's feather and blow it. And then if you think that you have a specific energy, a specific expression of the universe that's upsetting you for whatever reason, you can tell it to go away. Away, 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 something like that. Or find a song that has away in it that you like and sing that. I really think it's about like what's familiar to you. So instead of like singing some old chant that you don't have any connection with, what if there's a Dear John or a breakup song that you just love? What if you did that? When I do my smudging, I usually sing guess. Can you guess what song I sing when I smudge? It's not about away. It's about what I want the smudge to do. Guess what song I sing. And it's not Prince, by the way. There's one song that I sing when I'm smudging, and I tell the smoke to go and well, I just said it. I tell the smudge to go and work. That's the song. It's Work. I sing Rihanna's Work when I smudge. Work, 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 work. That's my new one. Isn't that awesome? Now I want to think of a Stevie Wonder song too, because I'm all way on his tip right now because his birthday just passed. Anyway, figure out what one relates to you. Maybe you want to do some AC/DC for those about to rock, right? What do you need? It's about replacing this kind of living by default with intention. So you go from whatever energy's in your house by default, you're going to sweep that out and put intention into it. Put love and harmony and creativity and belly laughs. Oh, I love to fill my house with belly laughs. Just blow and ask for belly laughs. I don't even care what it's about. I just want everybody rolling on the floor laughing, because I know from there comes other good stuff. So if you don't have smudge stick, if you go wherever I have the Austin Witches Market, I know there's people there that make smudge sticks. And I think there might be stuff on Pinterest that teaches you how to make your own. I don't know, because I'm not making them. I don't want to. I want the people who know how to do it to make them. My friend Cammie makes beautiful magical stuff, and I don't remember the guy's name at the market, but he does too. Anyway, smudge, meditate today, do a little bit of planning for what's going to happen. You know, like destructive change is coming, so just aim it the best that you can at what you want gone, right? Destructive change isn't necessarily bad. Chemo is a type of destructive change, which is cool. It's cool because it gets rid of this thing that you don't want anymore. And the problem with it is that it just gets rid of everything in the area. Now, maggot therapy, which sounds gross, and it is kind of gross, but maggot, I'm saying maggot, M-A-G-G-O-T, maggot therapy is when they put maggots, like live maggots, on someone, and they like tape them onto the person's body. And the cool thing about maggots is they only eat the bad flesh. They won't eat good flesh. Somebody found a use for maggots. I mean, maggots are fucking disgusting. I've had 3 maggot incidents in my life, and they were all gross, and I'm scarred by all of them. But somebody found a use for maggots, and it's perfect. They only eat the bad stuff. They only eat the gangrene, right? The rest, they leave the healthy stuff there. And here's the question. Could you go through something as gross as having maggots attached to you to make sure that your healthy parts stay healthy? Now, how many layers of deep is that? All of them. That's all the layers. That's all the things. You ask yourself that, and then you design it that way. So I'm going to pop off, but I would love for you guys to talk to me about what you thought about the laws of power from 5 to 16. We did 5 to 16 today. And talk to me about it, and I'll talk to you about it too. And if you have any questions that you came up with during this hour that I could answer with tarot or pendulum, ask me. I'm happy to do it. Follow me on YouTube. It's High Tarot, H-A-I-T-A-R-O-T. And remember, the name of this program is changing to High Tarot as of June 1st. We have exactly 14 days left. I hope that you liked the show. If you didn't watch the whole thing, go back and watch it. I'll be putting it up as a podcast here in the next few hours. And I love you. I hope you're staying safe and that you're taking care of yourself. Be gentle with you. Be gentle with you. And see, I have the inspiration. I stopped myself. I'm just going to say it the way it came to me. Be gentle with you. Fuck everybody else. That's how it came to me. I was going to edit it and make it something else, but I think that we need it that way, with it being a Tower Day. Lots of love. Thanks for supporting me, and thanks for being here. Bye.